Welcome to Bullish and Beyond. It's Beery the Bull. I'm your AI co-host. Join myself, Brian the MacMan, and JT Knows Things while we dive deep into the world of stocks, crypto, and how to live a bullish life. It's time to get bullish, and there's no better place to start than right here. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to Bullish and Beyond. It's your boy JT Knows Things. And today, unfortunately, Brian could not join me. He is dealing with a family emergency. Everyone seems to be okay, but his wife was hit in a car just 20 minutes ago. So we are going to just have me do a solo episode. And when I do these, we kind of do deep dives, right? Or we'll do bullish moments. And today, I think we can do both, because some of the most bullish news going on is the Genius Bill getting passed, signed into law, and stablecoins, which I believe is like the iPhone moment for crypto. I really do. This is the first application that is getting real world adoption and is growing like a weed. It is crazy. Stablecoins have doubled every year for 4 years. That's 100% annual growth rate, guys. It is insane what stablecoins are doing and what the issuers of these stablecoins are making, how they make their money, what are stablecoins. We're going to cover all of that right now, okay? Before I get into that, you will notice, if you're watching this on a clip, my ceiling's red. I do not know why the markets took a dip other than the job reports. The job reports came in under expectations. So we're always going to see it respond like this. Trump, of course, is blaming the rate cuts not happening and Powell still staying firm, hawkish. You know, it is quite a position we're in that regard. So the markets are down. Bitcoin's down around 4%. My fund is down a little bit more since I hold mainly alts. However, we were tripling Bitcoin's performance to the upside. So that's kind of my game, right? Underwriting these alts. We're not going to get into that, but what I do want you all to know is that is exactly how I have structured my fund. It is from underwriting. So I know a lot about blockchains. I have over a decade of software experience. So when I'm talking to you guys about what this stuff is, trust that it's coming from someone who has spent the time to deeply understand this stuff. And I'm going to do my best to bring it as high level as possible so it's comprehensible. Because these are not simple ideas. And mainstream media has been telling all of us for however long, right? So long, that it's not safe, that it's bad, it's for terrorists or criminals. It's shame. In my opinion, it's a complete shame and disservice. And if any of their lies are the reasons why you haven't been involved in crypto, I would totally understand. The hesitancy, I get it. I promise you on my life and my mother's life, right, that this system, blockchains in general, just as a database or a theory, they are the most secure networks in the world. They just are. I talk about it a lot on my channel. If you want to know how or why, I go into the deep dives on that, the specifics of it. Okay. So now let's talk about stablecoins, right? What are they? Stablecoins are one use case of a blockchain. So blockchains are databases, but instead of the database being owned by one company and that database just basically keeps tracks of all these ledgers of all these things, right? This SKU on Amazon, for an example, like this product went to this address, this much money, right? And there's all these little servers that are keeping the ledgers, and it all rolls up to Amazon. And if Amazon were to get compromised, right, the entire Amazon network would be. If you just go in and type in the top 10 biggest corporate hacks ever, you'll see this single point of failure issue where if they just hack one little device on the network, they can get the whole network. And in blockchain, this database is stored independently on every single computer that installs the network, that installs the database, basically the ledger, okay? And that means there's 1 million computers on Bitcoin specifically that are checking that ledger. And they all ask each other, basically, it's called consensus. Those computers talk to one another every 10 minutes to make sure that everything is in order 1 million times. It makes the network very slow, but incredibly secure. Redundancy is the easiest way to make a system more secure. The fact that the database's state, or just what the database is showing, is being checked every 10 minutes 1 million times, it is the most secure network in the world. You would need control of 510,000 of those computers in 190 countries, and you'd have 10 minutes to break an algorithm that takes 10,000 years to break with a $2 billion computer. So right? Stablecoins, the reason why I explained all this, stablecoins are dollars on top of that, what I just described. So instead of your dollars being in Huntington Bank on their ledger, and then that ledger communicates with, some other bank that they're partnered with. It eventually rolls all the way up to the DTCC or OCC, and then the balance is actually settled. So when you put dollars into a bank, it's just saying plus 100 in your ledger. Those dollars don't actually get there for a couple more days or weeks sometimes. Settlement is different than messaging. So stable coins, if they're on a blockchain, same thing. Dollars, right? Just bytes of code. A dollar or a stable coin. It's the same thing. They're one to one. But the fact that it's on a blockchain, what it allows the network, what the network provides is the ability for that deposit of $100, that same deposit, the second it is settled, that's when the message is sent. So it's one thing. It's not message then settlement. It is message and settlement in one. When I send you $100 of a stablecoin, you get exactly 100 stablecoins. You own them. They're yours, right? Especially if it's on Ethereum. Ethereum's a public blockchain. So you have custody of those stablecoins the second I give them to you. And since blockchains are 24/7, 365, and they run autonomously because the tokens are used to pay the people that run the software. So they make money doing it. So you don't have to pay anyone anything. It's just there. It's a public good. So you can just adopt the Ethereum virtual machine, build a stablecoin application, and use Ethereum for all the transactions instead of your own server and database. You save money and you get 24/7, 365 instantaneous settlement. It costs you less than the clearinghouse and Fedwire and all that stuff, a lot less. A flat $2, $3 on Ethereum, and even less on Solana, less on an Avalanche. It's crazy, guys, okay? So effectively what these things are, it's just taking dollars and putting them on chain. That's all it is. It's just dollars on chain. Now, what are they doing? When they build that application, it's no different than like an online checking account. You can deposit your dollars into it. They will make the equivalent of tokens, which costs them nothing to do, right? You put 100 in, they give you 100 stable tokens out, and that's it. Now, when you put those dollars in, they go and buy treasury bills. So they're getting free yield on the T-bills while your dollars are sitting there. And it's a pretty liquid instrument. So they can just automatically balance all of that. And they end up buying a lot of treasury bills. That's why this Genius Act is so important. It is giving the green light for anyone to make stablecoins if they meet this criteria. And that's spelled out in the Genius Act, which is essentially financial institutions. Not social media companies yet, not grocers, but maybe eventually. Either way, you're going to start seeing all of these banks roll out stablecoin programs. And that's going to be the start, the catalyst of incredible adoption of blockchain technology. Because when people have their dollars on chain, they start to experiment. I mean, imagine this. You could use Athena, right? Athena is a stable token that basically splits the yield between the holders. So you actually just hold dollars and make yield. You can basically keep up with inflation. Well, not anymore. They're printing a lot of money, but you can just by doing that, and you can have it in your wallet. It doesn't have to be on an exchange or anything. You can custody tokens that yield more stable tokens through their treasury. It's super interesting, but the whole concept is we're stripping out all these middlemen and we're minting tokens for free. We're buying treasury bills. There's going to be thousands of stable tokens that are issued in the next 12 to 24 months. The majority of them are going to pick Avalanche, Solana. I could see XRP or Ethereum. Okay, those are and Tron. Those right there between Tron and Ethereum, they have like 90% of the stable token volume. And between the rest of them, they're just cheaper and faster. So like different people will build different things. But ultimately, all of these blockchains or databases are going to be supporting all of these issuers. All of these issuers are going to be buying a lot of treasury bills, which is why it is a big deal for the government. And the bond market has been struggling. So this could be net new demand for our treasury bills, all of these new issuers, because that's a core part of their business is to buy treasury bills. And that way everyone else feels good that your stable tokens are backed by the full faith and credit of our government. no different than a bank. It's pretty interesting. So that's what they are. That's what they do. We just talked about where they're likely going to build a lot of this stuff. So the winners in crypto, in my opinion, are those layer ones. You don't have to worry about which one. If you bought, well, this isn't financial advice. In my fund and in my opinion, owning pieces of these things, for all we know, 5 years from now, Tron does not exist. I don't know. You don't know. And Ethereum just ends up eating everyone, as an example. It'd be good to have Ethereum, but the same could be said for any of those other ones. These next 1 to 2 years are really going to define which infrastructure providers are the best for institutional adoption, and then retail will follow. A bunch of consumer apps will come out. It'll be crazy. So ultimately, the Genius Act is opening up channels to distribute treasury bills to repair our economy, and also allowing blockchain to be an integral part of our financial system for the first time since all of us crazy people have been talking about it in 2011. And these stable tokens would allow a lot of really cool benefits. So what does it mean to you, right? One of the benefits would be the ability to get paid every day, by the hour, by the minute. Payroll companies could do a lot of really cool things. It would also mean that every dollar in your paycheck could be appreciating at 4% a year, 3% a year, right? As these tokens get more competitive and there's more and more issuers, you're going to have really enticing offers as they try to get market share. You could have a situation where your paycheck, you could just have 10% of your stable tokens go to a different wallet, and that wallet automatically deploys into a portfolio of tokens. And then you could dollar cost average every day, every week, there's so many things that you could all do inside of your wallet or in an app. But right now, none of these systems are integrated. That's another area that I talk about on my channel, interoperability. There's a lot of solutions out there that are bridging these blockchains, which I believe is also an integral part of blockchain being adopted, which is why I invest there. But in general, all of this means you're going to start seeing more and more stable coins being used in your day-to-day. There's going to be more offerings to pay with a wallet, and eventually I believe banks will roll out wallets in your account. Like, nothing will really change on the front end. I mean, it'll still say dollars and stuff, or it might say their stable token. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But eventually, we're all going to have wallets, and we're not going to know we have wallets. Like, when you make an account on the back end, it's going to create a wallet. That's going to be your unique user ID for that data set. And then everything's happening on chain. It's all submitting to a database, because ultimately right now you guys don't make decisions. If you're going to use Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever based on the data schema they use, like, hey, or like the databases, the data architecture, you don't think about any of that. You just like the app. So once we figure out how to get a user experience to the point where they don't know they're using crypto, that is where things will explode. And when there's enough liquidity on chain, there's enough money in stable tokens, I think you're going to see enough juice, enough incentive for things to really start to skyrocket. I really do, because one of the indicators I've noticed since I've been in this industry is the amount of liquidity on chain. That is a leading indicator for bull or bear markets. When there's not a liquidity on chain, people don't even want to have stable tokens on there. They have no trust in blockchains. All of the logic is went out of the window. They are scared. They are fearful. And when it's really bullish, price keeps going up. People add dollars, and they are just keeping stable tokens there, waiting for a good opportunity to buy, right? Money on the sidelines to make decisions. Now, in traditional finance, dollars on the side is generally bearish. People don't want to invest right now. But in crypto, stable tokens do the opposite. It's a very good thing for crypto, because now all of the cool stuff in crypto is accessible through these stable tokens. People are just like, hey, what can I do with this stuff? Oh, okay, connect your wallet. Oh, look at that. There's a game I can make money playing. Oh, wow, there's, these NFTs, trading cards. That's super interesting. Like, people can get sucked down some rabbit holes. If they have to set up a wallet and all this other stuff that would allow you to do that, it's a challenge. And that's what we've been battling. But this Genius build changes all of it. It changes all of it. And in the next year or two, I think we're all going to be really happy with what happens in this arena. It's very bullish for the future if you are investing in blockchain technology, in my opinion. This could not have been a better thing to happen. So although the sky is red and the market's bleeding and jobs are bad, all that other stuff. The Genius Act passed. It's here. It's in law, and it is a wonderful thing. And we should all be grateful that that had happened. All right, guys. Hopefully you learned something. This was useful to you. I know this was a short episode. I don't want to talk your ear off about stablecoins. I think this is incredibly impactful, but we just kind of had to get a little episode out there due to Brian. If you guys could send some prayers for him, I'm sure he's fine. Everything's fine. He didn't seem too worried, but I've been in a car accident. It was very scary. So, I just hope they find some peace and can move on. The guy drove off too, which is crazy. People these days. Anyways, stay bullish, guys. And until next time, take care of one another. Peace and love.
Bulls. That's a wrap on today's episode of Bullish and Beyond. Remember, the market never sleeps and neither should your ambitions. Whether it's stocks, crypto, or just leveling up in life, stay focused, stay bullish, and keep charging forward. Keep your energy high and your mindset bullish. This is Beery the Bull, your AI co-host, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things signing off. All content published by Bullish and Beyond, LLC reflects personal opinions only and is provided for informational purposes. Please conduct your own research and discuss with your accountant and/or financial advisor before making any financial decisions. The information presented should not be taken as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Nothing you hear, see, or read in our content should be considered as any form of financial, investment, or legal advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any assets, or to make any financial decisions.